It looks warm, but it's not quite warm tonight. A little winter weather, if you will, in San Diego. The Rockies winterized the Padres last night with an offense. They went opposite field at times. They went over the wall. Cargo had a double. Ian Desmond with his second big fly of the year, going to the big part of the ballpark. Then in the ninth inning, Charlie Blackmon hit one over the wall, and that was followed up by his good buddy DJ. They went back-to-back. The Rockies would score 7 times. They have 10 home runs so far in the first 4 ball games of 2018. We welcome you officially to Petco Park. It's the Rockies and the winless Padres. And the Rockies ready to go against a guy they haven't seen in a couple of years, Tyson Ross. And there is Charlie Blackmon. He'll lead it off. He's got 4 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's hit a home run in 3 consecutive games for the second time in his career. And here's the Southwest batting order. DJ will follow him, then Nolan. Cargo at 294 in the early going, now 4th on the all-time hit list after passing Vinny Castilla yesterday with a couple of hits, a single and a double. Gerardo Parras hit 300 in his career against Tyson Ross, Trevor Story, Chris Iannetta. Ryan McMahon getting the start at first base for the red-hot Ian Desmond. Desmond is feeling fine. It's not a knee issue. It just has to do with the fact that playing 17 in a row, Buddy said from the start of the season he wanted to get some of his extras in there and get some spot starts. 2 lefties going the next couple of days.
That's the key. You want to get your bench players after coming out of spring training. You don't want them to sit and get rusty. We saw the numbers a moment ago for Tyson Ross. 12 starts last year with Texas, 6 minor league starts. But then he was released in September after coming back from surgery a couple years ago. His last start for the Padres was 729 days ago, or tomorrow will be 2 years.
Well, he's a former all-star in their uniform. That fastball misses downstairs 2-1. He had a really good spring training, and Andy Green felt like he is back to the guy he was before. Time will tell. His velocity's up, and he misses there 3-1. With Texas last year, he went 3-3. He threw just 49 innings. He had an ERA of 7.71. One of the big reasons why, for the first time in his career, he did not throw strikes. He walked 37 guys in 49 innings. This is a high fly ball to right field. Charlie just missed this.
Yes, he did.
I mean, by a smidgen. Otherwise, he's trotting around the bases again.
For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And will the real Tyson Ross please stand up? This is what the Rockies are looking at. They're not quite sure which Tyson Ross is. It going to be the guy they've seen before? Even though he hasn't won against the Rockies, 0-5 with the 344. He has pitched pretty well in his career, especially here at Petco against Colorado. In 2014, he was an all-star. But as you mentioned, Drew, you're not sure what you're going to get tonight. Is it going to be a guy that has some velocity? We see a 94 right there. That's what he was prior to the surgery. Last year, he was more at 91, 92.
And he misses down low 2-0. When he was right, 13-14, he had a devastating slider. And the guy who would know better than anybody sitting in the Rockies dugout, Buddy Black, he was his manager.
And what makes him a little bit more difficult to hit too, he's 6'6", so he creates that downhill plane, and that's the slider.
Yeah, and it's a good slider, but on a 2-0 count it misses. It's 3-0. A little bit more on Tyson Ross, who's a product of Cal Berkeley. Shoulder injury, missed the rest of last year. He had thoracic outlet surgery to remove a rib, and it's a 4-pitch walk a couple of years ago as well. And I remember when he was one of the bright young pitching prospects in baseball, and he did very well, as Hugh was mentioning, for a couple of years. And now you look up and he's in his early 30s, right?
Yeah, 112 major league starts coming into tonight. 35-36 record, but a 3.91 ERA for Tyson. Less hits at innings pitched. Strikeouts are almost 1-to-1.
So here's Nolan. Nolan last night was 0 for 2. He had an RBI on a sac fly. He also walked a couple of times. Career-wise, 5 for 22 with a couple of home runs against Tyson Ross. You know, guys watched old video and then they got some scouting reports on what he did this spring. The Rockies did not play the Padres in spring training.
How about that?
They're going to play him plenty, though, in April. 10 times.
10 times. But you would have thought they would have matched up at least one time in the spring.
This ball lined to right field. This could be a problem for Renfroe. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Hunter Renfroe.
Well, they got a tip of the cap from Tyson Ross. As Nolan was jogging by him, Tyson Ross lifted up his cap and pointed out to Hunter, because off the bat, you're thinking that's a double, gonna score a run. It's slicing away from Renfroe, but the timing of his dive, that's what saved it from being an extra base hit. Watch on the Subaru Supermo, goes right into the webbing, and then he has time to be able to secure it. That's the hard thing for an outfielder, is once you dive, can you secure it before that wrist hits the ground? And we saw the tip of the cap just a moment ago.
So 2 outs, and here's Cargo. Boy, DJ started to go and had such a great jump that he had to stop because Ross never lifted his leg to go to the plate. Ball 1 on Cargo. The Coors Light refreshing finish last night. A double in his first at bat to drive in a run. And then he'd also have an infield hit later on. He passed Vinny Castilla for 4th on the all-time Rockies hit list. And the 1-0 is fouled off. So Dougie handed me this little, what do you call these things again, Doug? Sticky notes. Thank you. Oh boy, it's going to be one of those nights. It says 67 degrees on it. I'm not buying that.
Oh, but everybody has, yeah, everybody has a heavy jacket on.
Tyson's a big guy. We just mentioned he's 6'6". He's an athletic guy. He has quick feet. So it's a good pick, but if he makes a commitment to the plate, you can run on him.
Yes, that's the difference, because he does have somewhat of a high leg kick. Very quick feet, and that's where you get guys if you're a pitcher. It's not just the strong arm, because everybody's going to make a strong throw to first base, but it's how quick you can get turned around to make that throw.
1-1 on the knuckles, fouled off 1 and 2. That was a great catch by Hunter Renfroe, because the ball's running away from him. He's going to have some tail off a right-handed bat.
Well, and then if it gets down in that corner, what part of that corner would it kick off of?
And also, if he, once he left his feet, if he doesn't make the catch, he's got to pick himself up. And you're right, who knows where it rattles to. This ball's sharply hit, but it's right at Swahe into the shift. So the Rockies hit the ball hard 3 times, nothing to show for it. A man left, and we'll see Kyle Freeland when we come back. on the season. They come in 2-2. Kyle Freeland has the baseball, his work from a year ago. He won 11 ball games. And when he was out on the road, he made 12 starts. The Rockies won 9 of them.
That's Kyle last year when he came on, made the starting rotation and then just really carried it. They backed him off just a little bit there. They put him in the pen for 5 appearances, back into the starting rotation. We'll see a fastball, cut fastball, change-up, slider. But you know what else we're going to see tonight, Drew? We're going to see a few more curveballs, something he's been working on this winter, this spring, just to give another variation of a pitch.
And there's that fastball for strike 1 on Manuel Margot. Ionetta to the outside corner, and this is on the ground to second. DJ LeMahieu's got it, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order tonight for Andy Green's Padres. And Will Myers, he has a strain in his right tricep. He cannot go. And A.J. Ellis is in there behind the plate again, also because of the back situation on Austin Hedges. So Perella's going to bat second. He batted cleanup yesterday. Hosmer's swinging it great. Renfroe in the middle. Villanueva's at third. Freddie Galvis, Carlos Asuaje, and Ellis batting in the 8th spot in front of Tyson Ross. So that's a big omission from their lineup. It's not a deep lineup to begin with, but you take Myers, who's been a Rockies killer, out of there. He hit a home run last night, nearly hit a grand slam after that.
That's right, hitting over 312 against the Rockies in his career, not able to go. We've already seen the impact, though, of Hunter Renfroe in the lineup with that diving catch in right field.
Yeah. There's Will Myers. It's affecting him throwing the ball, yes. I think, more than anything. He just can't throw. His right triceps.
Well, last night, it was his 3rd at bat. It was starting to reach for a pitch, and you could see him wince and really hold that right arm by his side. Doesn't want to extend it, doesn't want to do anything. And then even after the inning, he goes out in one more inning out in the field, makes a play, but tosses the ball underhand to the crowd. He couldn't even, toss it overhand.
And you wonder if that ends up being a DL type of situation.
I think early in the season, I think they will err on the side of caution.
2-2 on Jose Perella. And this is beat into the ground. Freeland does a great job, makes a perfect throw to Ryan McMahon. He fields his position really well. So athletic, bouncing off the bump. 2 outs. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. And you'll note that Ryan McMahon's getting just his 3rd career start, and a couple last year. He's getting the start for Ian Desmond tonight. Again, Ian's fine. Giving him an opportunity to get a start against a righty. 2 lefties coming up, as we discussed. Desi's off to a great start.
That's why I think tomorrow we'll see Pat Valleca getting a start. Maybe move Desi back out to the outfield for a game or 2.
Well, Freeland moves Hosmer off the plate, and Hosmer kind of glares at him for a moment. Hosmer holding up his end of the bargain. 3 straight multi-hit games for Hosmer. He has 6 hits and 16 at bats. A couple of doubles last night. They were just pounded. And he looked at him again. He goes, "Where are you going, man?" Freeland says, "Hey, I'm pitching you on the inside half."
Pitching it in. If I let you get the arms extended, you'll hit doubles the opposite way like you did last night.
See Hosmer, another quick glare. And then a slider.
Oh. What a great pitch and a great call.
Yeah.
I mean, that was in the heart of the Subaru strike zone, but after 2 fastballs that are, making your belt almost come undone, it was that close to him.
And then a wicked swing and a miss on that slider, which broke even more. Good pitching right there.
But those pitches are perfect after what you did the first 2 pitches. Now, the first 2 pitches weren't by design. They were more by accident, but you used them to your advantage.
So if he goes slider again, he does, and he gets weak contact. Nolan coming, and he gets Hosmer at first. Great start for Freeland. 3 ground balls, 2 of them of the weak variety. We'll go to the 2nd. For one Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Gerardo Parra steps in against Tyson Ross, and he takes high, ball one.
The one thing Ross did not do in that first inning, he got out of it, a couple of hard hit balls, but he didn't throw many strikes. 15 pitches, 9 were out of the zone.
Parra takes that one for a strike. And that is again what plagued him last year. He wasn't fully healthy, but with Oakland, he walked almost 7 hitters per 9 innings. He evidently went around. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Parra.
Yeah, Bruce Streckman called it. They didn't even appeal.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tyson's brother Joe was a #1 pick of the Padres several years back, now at the Washington Nationals. Two-two. Here we're talking to Buddy about a myriad of topics before the ball game. Padres being his former club that he managed, and Tyson Ross, his name came up. Several questions about that, and Buddy started by saying he is one of my all-time favorite players. He said he's a hard worker, he's a great teammate, he's a bright guy, he's fun to be around, he's one of my all-time favorites. He goes, I wish him nothing but the greatest amount of success against the Giants and the Dodgers and he was funny, Diamondbacks. He goes interleague play, the Cubs, the Mets. He goes,
just
you know,
not against
the Colorado Rockies.
The Rockies.
One out. Here's Trevor, and Story takes inside on a slider. Gets a lot of downward movement on that slider. He's so tall, and he's a short strider.
Right, so he doesn't get way out onto that front side. That allows his arm to catch up. And then you're 6'6", and if you can get on top of it, you will create more depth to it. But for Tyson, he's fastball slider. He will cut the fastball occasionally, but that's it.
2-0, and that's in there for a strike.
So what you're talking about is delivery. So it's very compact, brings the legs up, and then right now the hands start to separate. Gets a good hip turn, but notice how even at 6'6" doesn't really reach out with that front leg.
That's also a strike. 2-2. Trevor good at bats again last night. 1 for 4 and a walk. After punching out 7 times in the first 2 games, no punch outs the last 2. 2-2. And this ball's blistered, but it's right at the center fielder Margot. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Chris Iannetta as we take a look at the gloves this evening for San Diego. And we feature Villanueva, Christian Villanueva, who began his career in the Texas organization, then went to the Cubs, and for a while before they drafted Chris Bryant, looked like he was going to be the guy. He was a well thought of young player, and then he was signed as a minor league free agent before last season. Big year last year in AAA. This is on the ground to second, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Aswahi makes the play. Middle of 2, no score at Petco.
And every Tuesday night, we are going to be celebrating several different Rockies over the course of the weeks. Our top 25 Rockies people. You can join in on the conversation and tell us your Rockies all-time players. Make sure to use the hashtag ToyotaTalk25. It is at the Twitter account at AT&T Sportsnet Rocky Mountain. And later on tonight, we're going to unveil number 25.
Looking forward to that, Spilly.
It's not you.
Could it be you?
It could be.
Could be you.
Could be.
It could be.
Could be you.
Could be Nolan.
Could not be Nolan.
No. Gonna say big fat no on that one.
Good fastball there.
I think he'll be higher.
Quickly, 2-strike count on Hunter Renfroe. Great first inning for Kyle Freeland. You and I were remarking during the commercial break. That is as good a slider as we've seen from Kyle.
Very sharp.
And that is just a smidgen inside. Went after him with the fastball at 93.
Just inside the Subaru strike zone. Just outside, excuse me, by about a ball and a half.
Slider cutter for Freeland, and you see a lot of cutters, at least if he does what he did a year ago, and you'll see it around the same velocity, that 86 to 88 miles an hour. What he has added is a curveball. How much he throws it, we shall see. That's a great pitch. Fastball, and it completely froze Renfroe, his first strikeout of the night.
We started him off with 2 fastballs, then went to 2 sliders, and then a fastball at the knees on the corner inside. But one thing that Kyle worked hard on this winter is trying to stay more directionally to the plate. What I mean by that is make sure that lead shoulder, the right shoulder, his glove shoulder, is going towards the plate and it's not coming out and around.
There's the
first one.
Yep.
So I'm going to kind of keep track of that tonight. And even if it's only 5 or 6, that's okay. It doesn't have to be 20 or 25. The curveball, they want it to be 12 to 6, and that not quite 12 to 6, but it wasn't that sharp breaker that you saw from the slider.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we use that term a lot. There's very few guys in the history of the game who truly had a 12 to 6 curveball.
Burt Blyleven.
Maybe Blyleven. But it's more 1030 to 430.
Right, and then that's what that one was too.
The old 1030 to 430 curveball. Here's the 2-1. That's a slider that dances over the outside corner. 2-2. Just saw the tweet. I love watching this guy pitch. Kyle Freeland is a marvelous competitor. And boy, did he have some moments last year, like the home opener in front of the hometown crowd. 7 shutout against the Dodgers, no less. The no-hitter he took into the 9th inning.
Against the White Sox, and then Melky Cabrera with the little flare to left field.
Yep. 3-2 on Christian Villanueva, 26-year-old. And that is long gone. He got it. That's going to go to the top shelf of the Western Metal Supply Company. 1-0 San Diego. Villanueva last year hit 4 home runs and 32 big league at bats. 2 came against the Rockies. Now 3 out of his 5 big league home runs against the Rockies.
Yeah, one of them last year was as a pinch hitter. 3-2 pitch, little cut coming in. Christian opens the hips up, gets off that back leg. And he knew it immediately.
This is a monster home run.
Yeah.
You hit it up on that deck. That's a long way. I was talking to Mark McGuire for a long time this afternoon. He's the bench coach for Andy Green. There's a strike on Freddie Galvis. And he said, Villanueva is one of those kids that kind of got lost with the Cubs after they signed Chris Bryant or drafted Chris Bryant. And he said when we brought him up last year and he had a great year at AAA El Paso, he said he hit. He just has a really good feel for hitting. And we saw it right there.
Well, he went to the Cubs, part of the Ryan Dempster, Kyle Hendricks trade. There's some big names along with him.
And there's a strikeout on a slider. That's what you want to see too. Freeland just, moving on. Okay.
Happens.
It happens.
3 pitches in to strike out Freddie Galvis. That was an 88-mile-an-hour slider. That wasn't a cutter. That was a slider.
Solo home runs don't typically beat you.
They don't.
Unless they're Charlie Blackmon and it's 2-1.
In Arizona, yes.
Yeah. Carlos Asuaje batted in the 5 spot yesterday. Against the lefty, he's dropped down to the 7 spot. Curveball misses. Asuaje had a good ball game yesterday offensively, a couple hits, including a double and an RBI. In his career, he's hit .304 against the Rockies. And Freeland missed there, 2-0.
Taking a second to step back off the mound, gather himself. Carlos 4 for 15 on the year. All 4 of his hits, be it just 15 at bats, have come against right-handed pitching.
He's sitting on a fastball and got a slider swung and missed. 2-1. That home run traveled an estimated 403 feet off the bat of Christian Villanueva. His first hit of the year. That, I guess didn't cross. I don't know how you get crossed up because there's nobody on base, but it went off the glove of Iannetta. 3-1. And he stayed off it, so not a good walk. There's walks that happen. We go, okay, it's not a bad deal, but 2 outs, nobody on left.
And a guy that doesn't have a lot of power.
Nope. Walks have been an issue for the Rockies, particularly for their starters through the first 4 ball games. A.J. Ellis comes up.
Last year, the Rockies were 18th in all of baseball at 3.3 walks per 9 inning. This year, coming into tonight, they were 5.56.
So Ellis starting back-to-back ball games. He was tapped on the shoulder late in the afternoon yesterday. Hedges was supposed to start. His back flared up, and evidently it's still enough of an issue that he's not in there tonight.
Yeah, but some of the lineups we saw earlier today had Hedges in there and then it maybe backed out of it again. I think they're going to have some decisions to make, them being the Padres. What are they going to do with Will Myers, or what are they going to do with Hedges? Are they going to have to DL them?
Yeah, you can be a little more lenient with Will Myers, but with a catcher, you got to have 2.
Yes. And
if you're not sure one of them can go, okay, for a day, maybe even 2 days, but you risk being in a situation where, if somebody gets nicked. So they have to be comfortable enough that he could go behind the plate tonight if something were to happen to A.J. Ellis, but that's something to monitor closely. 2-1, and that's fouled off. Relax and spitting seeds. And now it's full on A.J. Ellis. You get movement from Asuaje at first. That pitch may have caught the inside corner. Excuse me. I'm looking on the other corner. I'm looking at number 4, not number 5. 5 was clearly inside. And this is popped up. Easy play for Trevor Story. In the inning, Christian Villanueva on a 3-2 slider hit one off the top of the Western Metal Supply Company. 1-0 Padres. 7 runs or more as they did last night and the day before. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Tyson Ross had a 1-2-3 second inning. The Rockies had some real good hacks against him in the first. Charlie Blackmon just missed hitting one out to right. A LeMahieu walk. Nolan lined to right field, and Hunter Renfroe made a gorgeous diving catch. Cargo hit the ball sharply on the ground to second. So McMahon getting an opportunity to put some at-bats together, looking for his first knock of the season. And he stays off the high fastball.
Ryan had 22 hits this spring. He was tied for fourth most among anybody this spring.
And this is an easy play for Villanueva. 1 out. Looked like he made a late decision as to swing at that.
Kind of more of a protection swing with 2 strikes. Those are the frustrating ones. I feel your pain, Ryan.
So with 1 out, Kyle Freeland, good hitting pitcher, will come up. And he takes a strike. Kyle also wears the crown as the most accomplished golfer in the Rockies clubhouse. He played in high school. This is up the middle and on through, a base hit. So Freeland with the Rockies' first hit. Tonight's big hit is brought to you by Mako, though it happened last night. Charlie Blackmon. Charlie last night slaps a double down the left field line. In the 4th inning, he lines a double down the right field line. And then for good measure in the 9th inning, he just hit one out of the ballpark because he was tired of sprinting the seconds. Hit one out on the beach. 3 hits last night.
Much easier just to jog.
Yep. And he came close again to jogging his first time up. He missed hitting it out by a smidge, and a towering fly ball to just in front of the warning track and right. And he got the barrel on. 1-0. Looking down at Stu Cole. Kyle Freeland, you said, is a really good athlete. He runs well at first base. He's one of those pitchers that in a dire situation you could have pinch run. Charlie hits a home run foul. Move the foul pole.
Move it.
And do it quickly.
Feet. Hurry.
4 home runs in the first 4 games. Trevor Story did it. He hit 6 in the first 4 games, which is the most in big league history in 2016. Charlie becomes the 4th center fielder to ever do it. Mays a couple of times. Ken Griffey Jr., your former teammate. Vernon Wells, who is the partner in the wine business with Chris Iannetta.
Have you seen any of Vernon Wells' dad? Any of his paintings?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one in my house.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
He's a brilliant artist.
Yes, he is.
This is Vernon Sr. 2-1. 3-1 on Chuck Nasty. I remember one year, I'd seen his work before, but Troy Tulowitzki had a painting commissioned of his favorite shortstops, Derek Jeter. I think A-Rod was in there, and he was in there. And ball 4. So now the Rockies have 2 on, 1 out, and LeMahieu coming up. And I remember he received the painting when the Rockies were in Texas playing the Rangers.
Yes.
And
Senior,
Mr. Wells, Vernon Sr. was there.
I think he lives in Arlington. Or at least he used to.
Pretty talented family, huh?
Yes.
DJ stayed off a good pitch, a good pitcher's pitch. It missed ball 1. DJ, a career .306 hitter at Petco Park, which is Sixth best among active players. Joey Votto's #1 at 359.
There's a 320 career hitter against San Diego.
Two and 0.
This is where this is kind of Tyson Ross in a nutshell in his career.
Darren Balsley's going to come out.
Where it's, you know, he good stuff. He'll show flashes of it. He'll pitch well, and then he'll lose it for sometimes an inning, sometimes two.
But you said it off the top of the broadcast. It's not just us up here. The Padres, he had a really nice spring training. But you don't know what you're going to get because he's still far removed from his dominant days. And there's been surgeries, and there's been injuries, and there's been ineffectiveness, you know, for the last couple of years. And he claims to be fully healthy, and it looked that way in the spring. But this is March and April is different. We always say that.
For him, too, stepping on a hill that he has some familiarity with, but it's been 2 years. This is where if you're DJ, you really have to just hone in and make this ball be exactly where you want. Don't expand the zone and play into Tyson's hand. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I think the DJ was thinking along those same lines right there. It's a ball down at the bottom of the Subaru strike zone. If you get on top of it, roll over, it's a double play and you're out of the inning.
Big shift toward right center naturally. Three and one with Nolan on deck.
Well, small as your zone was 2-0, make it just as small on 3-1.
Now this is a perfect guy in this situation. I mean, don't know what's going to happen, but he's not going to get himself out. And he's not afraid to pass the baton. And he just did. Bases loaded for Arenado with one out. Hey, how about this? Ohtani hits his first major league home run for the Angels. He had a 3-run home run off Josh Tomlin of Cleveland in a 6-run first inning for the LA Angels. 3 walks in 2 1/3.
Make him pay.
Well, there's a thing about major league hitters, Huey, that you and Spilly know so well. You know, not only the talent, but there's a great cerebralness with most major league hitters. They get on a pattern quickly and they realize, there it is down the left field line. Extra bases for Nolan. 2 runs have scored. DJ is going to get a green light from Stu Cole. And the throw to the plate is in time. He may have either slipped or hesitated just a smidgen going around third. Nolan ends up at third base. It'll be a 2-run double. He moves up on the throw.
84-mile-an-hour slider from Tyson Ross inside. Nolan doubles down the line. And Kyle scores easy. Keep an eye on this. Charlie's going. Stu's waving him. I think DJ didn't quite get the turn around third because he went in there, but then didn't get the quick turn coming around, and then the tag applied by A.J. Ellis.
Great throw by Galvis.
Well, Galvis has a plus arm, and that was right on the money.
So here's Cargo with 2 outs. And he takes ball 1. And this is in the air to shallow left. It's caught out there by Corella. The Rockies take the lead on the 2-run double by Arenado.
looking back at some of the 25 best Rockies of all time, and we're asking you to weigh in. Greatest at Rockies of all time is Don Baylor. Great manager, and even better human. We appreciate that tweet. I think I need to do a better job explaining exactly what the top 25 is. It was voted on by 17 media members, and we will slowly unveil this list. Unfortunately, I don't think managers were in on the voting, but
yeah,
I totally agree Don Baylor should be considered one of the best. Guys?
Yeah, but and we lost a mountain of a man when Groove passed away. And I think he will always be very well remembered. He set the foundation. I mean, you talk about a man's man, and we are going to pay great tribute at different times this year to Don Baylor. This list is putting together the 25 guys as Tyson Ross strikes out. The 25 best Rockies. Now,
players.
Yes, I'm sorry, 25 best players. Let me clarify again.
Just to make sure.
And 17 media members who have seen most of the Rockies through the years, either on a day-to-day basis or close to a day-to-day basis. And everybody's list was different. There's no looking over somebody's shoulder and cheating. And then they compile based on votes who ended up number one, who ended up, all the way down to 25. So we'll unveil, as Billy said, number 25 tonight, and then discuss. We'll do it all year. And also, when we reveal who's number 25, the next Tuesday, we'll do this every Tuesday, the next Tuesday, we'll hear from that player.
Yep.
And unveil the next guy.
Number 24 next Tuesday.
Where's that?
Must be inside.
No. It was right in the top of the Subaru strike zone. So instead of 1-2, it's 2-1 on Manuel Margot. 3 strikeouts in the game for Kyle Freeland. Rockies up 2-1. And the slider is down low, 3-1. Margot hit a fairly sharp ground ball right at DJ LeMahieu on the second pitch of the bottom of the first inning. Dexter Fowler, there's a vote for Dexter. Love his smile.
Tough hop for Nolan. That was really difficult. He thought he was going to be able to catch that up by his letters going to his left, and then he had to switch the glove and turn it over because it caught the lip. And Nolan's thinking, I got it. Oh, wait. I had to flip the glove over, but he's so good at that it makes it look easy, and it's not, because that ball takes that last hop that you're not expecting.
Can I tell you what prepared him for that tonight?
What's that?
Tony Diaz and Stu Cole hit a lot of ground balls to the respective infielders during batting practice, and Stu Cole was hitting the ball to the left side as he typically does. There's Stu, and he hit a ball. This happens more frequently than you think. Perella gives another opportunity to Mr. Arenado, and he hit one, and there was already a ball lying in the infield, and the ball that Stu hit shot over the head of Nolan, but the next ball took a funny hop, and Nolan had to reach. That's where he got it from.
Perfect.
Yeah. No fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Rockies have a 2-1 lead at downtown San Diego with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs and our entire crew. I'm Drew Goodman, Gerardo Parra, Trevor Story, Chris Iannetta against Tyson Ross here in the top of the 4th. Tyson Ross, former second-round pick in 2008 by Oakland out of Cal. A 1 on Gerardo, and that's down the line. Fair ball. That'll get to the corner, and Parra headed towards second. Manfred throws it back in, a leadoff double for Parra.
The way the Padres have been making some plays tonight, I thought that Hosmer might be able to get this one, but Gerardo hit it too hard. Right past him. That will be the first double of the season for Gerardo.
Story hit a missile right at the center fielder Margot. He did that last night.
Yeah, he's due for a little good luck now.
Yep. The at-bats look really good the last 2-3 days. Oh, and 1 on the check swing. I mentioned Tyson, the fact that his brother Joe's with the Nationals. Tyson was a second-round pick. Joe was a first-round pick of the Padres. His sister played soccer at Portland State. Safe to say, pretty athletic family.
Do you think they could just play board games for fun, or do you think it's going to be an all-out, I'm going to beat you?
Yeah, probably like that. Parra bouncing around at second. 1-1. Home plate umpire, we should identify. Bruce Dreckman's behind the plate tonight. Chad Fairchild's at first. Mike Estabrook at second. Alfonso Marquez, who's the crew chief. Alfonso's at third. There he is.
Gerardo wasn't happy about that, so he kind of flicked some dirt up. All in good fun, of course.
Who is it? He had Goldschmidt cracking up the other day in Arizona.
Because his gloves were dirty after diving back to first, so he wiped them off on his leg.
That's a piece of work. Story.
Oh.
Not a bad idea.
It's a good idea. Just got to get it down. That's Gerardo. All right, you're going to do that? Well, you're going to get a little dirt. Carlos is laughing about it.
One and 2 on Story. Blocked by Ellis.
That's what you're always looking out for at second base, even first base, of course, is that 1-2 count. If they try to bury the slider, make sure you got a good secondary lead. So if it gets far enough away, you can take third.
Chris Iannetta on deck. Nobody out. Rockies up 2-1, top of 4. This is popped up and not playable. Carlos Asuaje is from Venezuela. Gerardo obviously is from Venezuela as well. And in the baseball community, they are very, very close. The players that hail from Venezuela. And many, once they establish themselves as big leaguers, live year-round in the States because of the unrest in Venezuela. Gerardo actually lives in Arizona, but Cargo and so many others live in the Orlando area. Suaje lives in Florida as well.
There are 74 players from Venezuela on the opening day roster.
And I think, was it 86 from the Dominican?
84.
84 from the Dominican.
Yeah, 19 from Puerto Rico.
Two balls, two strikes. Parra takes off. Ground ball weakly hit to short. Story can fly. He beat it.
Love
First
the aggressiveness.
And third, nobody out.
With Parra taking off, Freddie Galvis will do the replay, but during the replay, watch him glance over to third base to see if he can get Gerardo. Watch the little glance. He looks, still makes a strong throw, but that allows Trevor to beat it out. And what did I mention a moment ago, Drew? Trevor needed a little luck. Well, this is a lot of moving parts here, and then he has the legs to beat it out.
And you're right. You know, that's baseball. You hit three bullets that get caught the last couple of days, and you hit a roller to the left side. But again, getting the ball in play as opposed to an empty at bat.
Striking out. You're right.
Iannetta takes a strike, so a golden opportunity for the Rockies to add on. They're up 2-1, and this is a potential running situation also for Trevor Story.
We'll put some pressure too on both Ross and Ellis for this slider call.
And another strike, so Iannetta an upside down count, 0-2. Ryan McMahon on deck. One and two.
Gerardo's giving a false break at third too to see if he can get a flinch out of Ross.
This is often a running count. So this Story has seen enough of Tyson Ross, not only live but on tape. Not going. 2-2.
There's the slider with the pressure on AJ to block it, and he did.
AJ's been a terrific catcher and leader throughout his career. It's why he's still playing in his late 30s. He does not throw anywhere close to Austin Hedges. Hedges has one of the best arms in baseball. 2-2. 3-2. Story move here.
Yes. Yeah. Because to your point, I don't think then he could throw him out. I think what he would probably do, come up and give a good hard pump fake and then look to third.
Story extends his lead. Pretty automatic in that situation. You're going to get a step off or a pick.
Just can't get picked.
Not going.
Tyson came set. He delivered the ball quick. He didn't really allow Trevor that rhythm you want to get into as a base stealer.
Yeah, that was a sub 1-2 to the plate. Not going, and again fouled off. Rockies got 2 in the third on a 2-run double by Nolan Arenado, and they have runners at first and third, nobody out here in the fourth. There goes Story, and this is a broken back base hit. Story saw it. He's going to try to get to third, and the throw goes. Rockies get a third run on the Iannetta base hit. The Rockies have run into a couple of outs on the base paths. There's a heads-up play by Perella to go to Villanueva. Good communication in the infield.
Yeah, first RBI for Chris, broken bat. But that's such a short throw for Jose, who has a strong arm. Really easy throw to make this to third. Trevor tried to go out and around on the Subaru Supermo to miss the tag of Christian. Didn't happen, but that's twice now.
Yeah, and understand that is all on the runner.
Yes.
That's his decision. Ball
right.
in front
Ball
of him.
in front of him. He made the decision to go. It's back to that rule of thumb. You know, first and can't make the first or third out at third base.
Down the line, foul. Guarantee Ryan McMahon miss it bad. He's behind 0-2. He's going to get his A swing off. He had a 1-0 count his first time up and kind of took a late tentative swing and hit a little one hopper at the third baseman Villanueva. Two outs. That's the first strikeout for Ross, who in his prime would rack up the strikeouts. And Kyle Freeland, who bounced one up the middle his first time, will come to the plate.
Also scored the first run of this game for the Rockies.
That's a fair ball. And Ellis throws to first. So the Rockies get another run here in the fourth, and they have a 3-1 advantage. They've out-hit the Padres 5-1 for Kyle Freeland.
I would probably have to go with Tulo or Todd, but I guess I'll go Cargo, because I'll sneak Cargo in there, because Cargo's my boy, and he's a great friend, and I love him. He helped raise me in this game, and he's always been like an older brother to me, so I love Cargo.
Well, you can join in on the conversation. Tell us your Rockies all-time players. Make sure to use the hashtag ToyotaTalk25. There's Nolan looking at Cargo. We also have people weighing in. We've seen a Mr. Late Night. My wife votes for Mr. Late Night, Seth Smith. I have so many I want to include, but Nolan is the Rockies' GOAT, greatest of all time. Proud owners of a Tulo, Cargo, and Arenado jersey. Hashtag Toyota Talk. And what's interesting when you start thinking about greatest Rockies of all time, it's hard because there's if you start looking at some of the numbers, there's only a handful of guys that have had 5, 6, 7, 8 years of time with the Rockies. So there's been a lot of favorites, but not a lot of time, not a lot of years for them to accumulate a lot of stats. So I thought the list was pretty difficult to put together for a lot of the different medium members. Guys?
I found, you know, the first couple were easy, I thought. And then, you know, you could go back and forth on a couple of guys among the top, you know, 5 or 6. And then, boy, it all depends what you, you know, what you honor the most. Is it raw statistics? Is it how good were the clubs that individual played on, and how big a role did that individual have? 3-0 and a 4-pitch walk to Hosmer to begin the 4th inning. We'll bring up Hunter Renfroe.
Well, kind of going back to Billy's point for Cargo, he's just one of 5 Rockies to play 10 or more years with the ball club.
Yeah, and again tonight we're starting with, and we'll reveal the consensus 25th player on that list. And I'm not going to give it away yet. We're going to do it in an inning or two. I will say this much, that I had this guy on the list, and I had him higher than number 25, and you did also.
Yes, indeed. And that was what was fun about compiling this list.
Yep. Hunter Renfroe struck out looking his first time. And this is a double play ball. There's 1 and there's 2. That is well done. That's, Huey, take us through that, because that's not an easy play for Trevor or for DJ.
Well, for Trevor, I'll go to him first, because we're taught as infielders to come get the ball, but there's certain times you have to go back on a ball, and this is a great opportunity for Trevor. And then he makes a strong throw to DJ, who then has to turn and make this throw, knowing a runner's coming on. First of all, it's a throw, and then DJ clearing himself, he just pops off the bag to make it for a double play.
Now, the Rockies always among the league leaders in turning double plays, and they will be again this year, because they have as good an infield defense as you will find in baseball. Gold Glove third baseman, near Gold Glove shortstop, Gold Glove second baseman. And Ryan McMahon, young player who's converted from third base, has good hands, really athletic at first, but you know, Desmond's going to be there most days, and Desi is going to quickly rise. This guy is very comfortable on the dirt.
They're not going to beat themselves
by
giving a team 28, 29, 30 outs.
2-1 on Christian Villanueva, who hit a long home run on a 3-2 pitch in the 2nd inning to left. And this ball is pulled to the corner, foul. So I'd stay out of the middle inner half against this kid.
We've been working a long time together, 13 years now. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm staying away.
Okay, maybe something soft, or maybe something on the outer third of the plate.
Well, Mark McGuire knows hitting, and his scouting report on Villanueva was right on.
Obviously, Kyle and Chris, we're joking. They have a great scouting report too.
Yeah, changeup. He said go soft. They set up away, and he hits a ton to left field. This one's getting out. Wow. Second deck, and it is now 3-2.
I think that might have been a cutter, because it was 89 miles an hour, or if it was a changeup, it was too hard. One of the two.
But that was at times the issue last year with Kyle Freeland, thus the conversation about incorporating that curveball to get something in the upper 70s. So there's a 10-12 mile an hour difference between his fastball and one of his other deliveries.
Right, and so between the two, it's really only 4 miles an hour off those 2 pitches.
So Villanueva with a couple of solo home runs. Freddie Galvis takes a strike. I mean, and those are no doubters.
No doubt.
Galvis, who stands way off the plate, takes another strike. That's a slider. And Kyle thought he struck him out.
Well,
So now 6 career home runs for Villanueva, 4 against the Rockies.
His first multi-home run game.
Ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. So run in for San Diego. We'll go to the 5th. The Rockies up 3-2. They'll have the top of the lineup.
Tony Gwynn, the late great Tony Gwynn. The Rockies 2018 season kicks off at Coors Field this Friday through Sunday as the Rockies host the Atlanta Braves. Purchase your tickets today by calling 303 Rockies or online at Rockies.com. Some Rockies fans with their Go YO hats on.
Those may have been the folks we met the other day.
No, those were different folks.
They were different folks,
Yeah.
okay. Here's Charlie, curveball for a strike. Charlie, a deep drive to right field that was caught, and then he walked and scored in the 3rd. Scored on Nolan's bases loaded double. And this is down the line. Nice pickup by Hosmer. One out. That'll bring up LeMahieu, who has walked twice. You know, the Rockies have 5 hits. They've hit the ball hard, some loud outs in addition to the 5 hits. And yet, because of the 2 solo home runs and a couple outs on the bases, the Rockies nursing just a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, they've only left 3 guys on base.
And this is back up the middle. And Freddie Galvis makes a nice play. Did Ross get a piece of this?
I was just wondering the same thing. He had to reach back across his body. Yes, he did. They slowed it down enough because then Galvis had to redirect his body to make that play and then throw to first. So it's a 1-6-3 putout.
Rockies haven't hit a home run in forever. 10 home runs coming in, 3 last night, none so far tonight.
Okay, I'll call it right here then.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's off the plate. Nolan hit a home run in the Arizona series. And this one is going to be a routine play in short right for Renfroe, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ross in the 5th. Rockies up 3-2 at Petco. for the Padres. Kyle Freeland has allowed just 2 hits. Unfortunately, both left the building off the bat of Christian Villanueva. And the first pitch slider's in there to Carlos Asuaje for a strike. Asuaje drew a walk in the second inning on a 3-2 pitch. Over through the heater. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Chris just reminded Kyle to keep the right shoulder in immediately after he made that throw.
Two and 1. Rockies played 10 games in San Diego last year. They won 6 of them. 12-7 overall against the Padres. And that's hit off that screen. There's a perfect example of how valuable now that screen is. You see them in every major league ballpark. When we get home to beautiful Coors Field, you really won't see it. You won't notice it, but it's there. And it's a good thing it's there. Two. I was going to say see ya,
later,
but
right?
Guess not. It was off the plate.
It was off the Subaru strike zone.
Good call by Bruce Dreckman. And he got him on a slider. 1 out as Asuaje is the 4th strikeout of the night for Kyle Freeland. Well, Kyle's out of Thomas Jefferson High School. We are Colorado proud. Players from the Centennial State currently on big league rosters. Kevin Gosman, he's at a Grandview High School, 1st-round pick. Went to LSU. Taylor Rogers at a Chatfield. Greg Berg has just been battling so many injuries. So talented. He's at a Grandview as well. Marco Gonzalez against Ty Block today. We'll go back to the list in a moment. That was a curveball that Freeland didn't get on top of. 1-0 on A.J. Ellis. But Marco Gonzalez got a win, 6 1/3 today against the Giants, and it was Ty Block at a Regis going against him. Ty gave up 4 runs in the 1st inning.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got the loss.
Ellis will have a base hit. Chase Headley is the dean of players from Colorado, not only currently but all time. Chase has played 1,413 games in the big leagues. That's most ever by a Coloradan. There's Headley, switch hitter, who started his college career at Pacific and then went on to the University of Tennessee. He's a volunteer like Todd Helton, and he's had a really fine career. Goose Gossage is 3rd on that list. Number 2 is Roy Hartzell, who played in the early 1900s in the big leagues. Tyson Ross squared around a bunt.
Well, the privilege and honor of playing with Goose, the Texas Rangers. How about that on that team? I had Goose Gossage and Nolan Ryan.
2 tough guys, man, who threw really hard. Fouled off.
You didn't dig in against them.
No.
Let's just put it that way. If they start to see you doing a little toe hold, they're like, we're not playing that game.
Hey, years ago,
Buzz the Tower.
Years ago, great story at fantasy camp. Goose came, and somebody kind of, I don't know, maybe good-natured, popped off. And next pitch came inside, and ran one past the tower, buzzed the tower. 1-1. That's right in front of the plate, and Chris makes an accurate throw to second. Ross, with the long stride, gets up the line, but the force out on A.J. Ellis. So great job by Iannetta. You practice that, the short bunt pouncing on it, but it's so hard for a catcher to make sure it's accurate.
Because they got so much going on in front of them. Watch the bunt go down. Then the bat's there. You've got everything that you have to avoid. And then good for Trevor to just hold on tight, okay? So he lays the bunt down, drops the bat down, so Chris comes out and fires to second base to get the lead runner in A.J. Ellis.
Now Margot at the plate. That's huge. You keep the tying run out of scoring position. Margot has hit it on the ground twice, once to second, once to third.
Plus you make Tyson Ross run the bases, although they probably would trade that speed-wise. having Ross instead of Ellis.
'76th pitch, just missed. Got him on the inside corner. Good pitching by Kyle Freeland. Gave up a one-out hit to A.J. Ellis. Got some help from Chris Iannetta. And we move on to the 6th inning. The Rockies up 3-2. Cargo will lead it off.
For the top 25, but I always enjoy when somebody comes out of the woodworks and adds somebody like Curtis Laskanik. His energy led the team on the field and in the clubhouse. Hashtag Toyota Talk 25. Continue to follow our conversation as we're trying to unveil the top 25 Rockies and give us your opinion. Who should be in the top 25? We know Carlos Gonzalez will be in the top 25. We just don't know where.
I think he's going to be pretty high up in the top 25.
You think so?
Yes. Unless you left him off and fouled everything up. You had a vendetta against him.
I have no vendetta. He did take my job, but...
See, I knew he did.
Payback, Cargo.
3 on the right side for Cargo. Ground ball to second, sharply hit, and flare to left that Perella made a diving catch on to save a run. Ball 1. See if the Rockies can get ignited offensively here, because they've been the more complete offensive team in this game, but they have just a 1-run lead against Ross here in the top of the 6th.
Couple markers here.
So we were talking about Goose Gossage, your former teammate, and one of the most intimidating closers of all time, the Hall of Famer, and a good friend of ours, the former governor of Colorado, Bill Owens, was at fantasy camp one year, and Governor Owens just texted me, and he said that he hit a foul ball off Goose at fantasy camp one year, and he said the next pitch was under my chin. He yelled, "Don't do that again, Gov." How about that?
Not surprising, knowing Goose.
No. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You didn't care what your day job was.
Yep.
That's classic.
That is. Well, that's classic Goose.
Yeah. Security went to the mound and arrested him, of course, after. But here's a 3-0. And Cargo takes a strike. Parra and Story to follow. And hopefully more.
A lot more.
It's fouled back, out of play, 3-2. Craig Stammen, veteran, former national, is up in the San Diego pen. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that he's a former Dayton Flyer, only because Doug always writes that on the sticky notes when he lets us know Stammen is in. 1 out.
Well, fans, Coors Field has something for everyone and every budget. Go to Rockies.com/suites for more information on individual game day suites and party facilities.
Parra pulled a double right down the first base line in the 4th and would score. 6 in a row set down by Ross.
He came back down 3-0 to Cargo.
Parra swung at the first pitch there. And the reason I mention that, one of the best pitches to hit in baseball is the first one. Remember Charlie got the hanging curveball and tied the game with a home run against Zach Greinke on a first pitch in his 3rd at bat a couple days back. Charlie rarely swings at the first pitch. This is off his, well, Parra thought it went off his foot. At first, Chad Fairchild says he's out. Was there I didn't see
there
if
was no
Bruce
indication.
Dreckman indicated. And they threw it around the infield.
That said it went off his toe.
Buddy soliciting help. Dreckman saying he didn't see it.
Argo didn't run at all. Kind of hard to see from that. Angle if it caught his toe, but Gerardo never ran.
Not reviewable, so they're 2 outs. Trevor fouls it off. Story an infield hit and a line drive to center field that was caught. This is an easy play in center field for Margot. So the Rockies go in order in the 6th inning. They're up 3-2. Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you the results during our post-game show. Here's a question. Which of the Rockies' second-year pitchers do you have the highest hopes for? Kyle Freeland was working tonight, pitching well. German Marquez, Antonio Sensatella, Jeff Hoffman, who's coming back from inflammation in his right shoulder. He's still down in Scottsdale. Boy, they all got great promise. Here's the 0-1. This is a big inning. It's
yes,
the hump inning.
Well,
one-run game, 6th inning, and it's 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Padres.
And third time through the lineup. All of the above for Kyle.
Slider misses. 2-1 on Pirela. He's gotten him twice. Comebacker and a ground ball to Nolan.
And part of the 9 ground ball outs for Kyle tonight. 1 fly out, 5 strikeouts.
Sharply hit and a base hit. This is a really quick infield. Ball was hit hard, just a couple of steps to the left of Story, who has terrific range, but it's lightning quick.
Yeah, probably not as fast as Arizona, only because it's at night, but it's cut very short. Scott Oberg now up in the Rockies bullpen.
Pirela's got a 5-game hitting streak to begin the season for San Diego. Eric Hosmer, ground ball to third and a walk. This is the big bat in their lineup. Of course, Christian Villanueva has had a big night with a couple of solo home runs. That's a strike.
Hosmer's not intimidated by Petco. 12 career games, 420. Batting average, 3 home runs. What you're looking for here is one on the ground to turn 2. That was a home run cut.
Home run cut on a fastball he turned over. So that had sink on it. Late action, 0-2. Rockies outfield more or less straight up, and the same in the infield. We have a shade up the middle with Trevor Story.
They go to the slider. That's what they got him out early in the game with.
Didn't bite, 1-2.
Indeed, it was the slider.
One-two from Freeland. Got him. Beautiful pitch. Big time pitch from Kyle Freeland. 1 out.
Staying down in the Subaru strike zone to Eric Hosmer. That's smart. But then when they're ahead, they work him away. That's just a wave at it from Hosmer. That had some bite to it.
6 punch outs tonight for Freeland. Now you have Renfroe, who hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the 4th. That would work well here. He takes strike 1, 93.
Because I think
Freeland's smelling that this is going to probably be the finish line for him. So
this
whatever's
might even
in the
be
tank.
The last hitter for him, with Christian hitting next. He's got a couple home runs off it.
This ball lifted toward the corner and left, and it's a fair ball. Pirela is going to get a stop sign on the double by Hunter Renfroe. Tying run and go-ahead run now in scoring position with 1 out in the 6th. With Villanueva coming up.
Wasn't a terrible pitch. He was down. He went and golfed it. Gerardo cut it off, though. He didn't cut this ball and make a clean play off the wall. Glenn Hoffman will try to score Pirela.
No move yet from Buddy, or maybe he did and I missed it. Well, now it is. Now's the official. He takes the baseball and he's going to go to Scott Oberg. So Kyle Freeland, a ton of positives tonight.
Runners at second and third. Fans, be sure to download the MLB Ballpark app, the official app of Coors Field. Purchase and access digital tickets, upgrade your seat and ballpark experience, and much more. Download today. It's going to be up to Scott Oberg now to come in and try to get Villanueva. And for Scott, 2/3 of an inning in the Arizona series, just one hit. That was a little blooper, jam shot to left field. Last year, Scott allowed just 15.8% of inherited runners to score, which was 4th best mark in the National League.
So Scott Oberg with the big arm. He has the ability to get a punch out. The Rockies will play the infield even at the corners, back up the middle with a 1-run lead, 3-2. We're in the 6th with 1 out. And he hits Villanueva. Now the bases are loaded.
I know the fans are booing, but that's the last thing Scott wanted to do. It wasn't like he was trying to hit him after he had hit 2 home runs on the night.
Villanueva gave him a glance, and that was not a pitch of intent. It just got away. So Galvis will come up. Freddie a strikeout and a ground ball to short.
He's been perfect this year with runners in scoring position. Time for that to change. This is the 2nd at bat tonight for San Diego with the runners in scoring position. The last one was with Christian.
Oh and 1. 2 lefties back to back. Suaje on deck. Galvis, of course, is a switch hitter. 0-1 off the plate.
Well, Nolan playing in at third, so if it takes him to his left, he'll go to second, but if not, he'll cut it off. Ryan's back at first. Try to create a little more range.
That's foul. Iannetta will move late to the outside corner, and the fastball misses. 2-2.
Galvis pretty good speed, and he's hitting from the left side, so you know you got to get rid of it quickly.
Scott Oberg's one of those guys that as the season progresses will get stronger. You see the fastball 94 to 96 right now. Come see him in July, you'll see 96 to 100. Pulled through the hole, a base hit. Around third is Renfroe. Here's the throw to the plate, and he scores. And the Padres take a 4-3 lead on the Galvis base hit. He is yet to make an out with runners in scoring position.
And they also allowed Villanueva to move up to third because he had stopped at second. And then when the throw goes all the way through, he takes off. Galvis just yanks it in the hole. Cargo comes up and makes a good throw. The one hop to Chris. It's unfortunate for Kyle because both those runs will be attributed to him.
Yeah, he pitched better than the line's going to show. His book closes 5 1/3, 4 runs, 5 hits. He walked 2. struck out 6, and now the Rockies are behind, and they're not out of the woods, just 1 out, and a Swahe at the plate.
Go over to first. Freddie last year 14 of 19 stealing bases.
You know, if you rank the starts now of the Rockies rotation first time through, Marquez threw the best, 5 innings of 1 unearned run down in Arizona. Bettis yesterday pitched better in the 4th and 5th, but Freeland, to me, had the second best outing of the rotation.
Agreed. That's why it's, you know, you're going to look at it and say, oh, he gave up 4 earned runs. I know the 2 home runs, but then to get tagged for a couple more here after you're out of the game.
2-0 now on a Swahe. Padres are 0-4. Last time they lost 5 straight to begin the season was 1988. And this is slowly hit. Got to come home with it. And safe. Villanueva got underneath the tag.
Good slide, because Scott gave Chris the ball in time, but by the time he reaches back to apply the tag, Christian slides out and around. That is a classic hook slide. Yep, a hook slide where you reach with that left foot and turn it over, so all you get is the point of the foot going on the plate. It'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Carlos.
First and second, still 1 out. Ellis fouls it back.
Subaru Super Mode, the hook slide, very popular back in the 70s and 80s.
Ellis hitting out of the 8th spot in the lineup. Corey Spangenberg, who homered last night, has come out in the on-deck circle to hit for Tyson Ross. 5-3 San Diego. Antonio Senzatella has gotten up for the Rockies. One ball, 2 strikes on Ellis. A base hit and a pop out. in 2 at-bats. Three runs here in the bottom of the 6th for San Diego.
Just looking at it too, at the lineup, you got the toughest guy out in the lineup in Hosmer with the strikeout.
Renfroe hooked a double to the corner. That chased Kyle Freeland. And Villanueva was hit by the first pitch from Oberg. And Galvis won the battle, pulling a baseball through the right side for a 2-run hit. Ellis is starting to get the timing on that fastball. Changeup, 2-2.
That's why they went to the changeup. The timing they thought he was getting off that fastball down on the Subaru strike zone was the pitch number 8. Make a pitch, get out of this inning.
Inside move, Galvis gets chased back. A.J. Ellis, 6 days shy of his 39th birthday. And this ball's loud to right center field. Cargo will get there. Galvis will tag and move up 90 feet. That's a big play by Gonzalez. That ball goes to the wall. It's going to score 2 runs. As the trail runner, Suaje, runs well.
Got a very nice break on this ball. Ellis thought it was in the gap, and then Cargo did the right thing. Meaning he didn't stick his glove out until the last moment. So many times outfielders will run with their glove extended on the Subaru Supermo. You see that he didn't do that. He was a step away and then he extended.
So Corey Spangenberg, who homered last night, will be the pinch hitter for Tyson Ross. 2 outs in the 6th.
They're appealing that he left too soon. Mike Estabrook says no, he didn't. It's worth the gamble, though.
Right now, there's 3 capable third basemen for Andy Green. Spangenberg, the veteran Headley, and the guy who started tonight, Christian Villanueva.
I think Headley might be at the bottom of the list between those 3 after Spangenberg hit a pinch hit home run last night, and then Villanueva with 2 home runs tonight.
Hard to keep Villanueva out of the lineup tomorrow if you're Andy Green. 0-1 on Spangenberg. Change up, down, 1-1. Oberg's got to get Spangenberg, keep it a 2-run game. Galvis at third, Suaje at first.
Baseball's a funny game because you're looking at this. Currently right now, Kyle Freeland's on the hook for the loss, and he pitched better than Tyson Ross, who's
center field, but it's right at Blackman.
Tyson's in line for the win.
Yep, in the inning, 3 runs come around for San Diego, so the Rockies with work to do.
We've been getting a lot of responses throughout the night. Obviously, 25th anniversary of the Rockies, and we're going through the top 25 Rockies of all time. Robert Emmerling said Matt Holliday and Jeff Francisco. Never heard of that guy. We're true pros and put the Rockies in the World Series. Hashtag Toyota Talk 25. We will unveil one of the top 25 when we get back in the bottom of the 7th inning, guys.
Here's Iannetta against Craig Stammen. And Stammen guides that fastball over the outside corner. It's 0-1. Iannetta, McMahon, then we'll get a pinch hitter. Bottom third of the Rockies lineup. Chris, an RBI single in the 4th. Good at bat in the 4th inning. He was behind 0-2, fouled off a number of pitches, and then dumped one into left field to drive in a run. And he's behind now 0-2. This bullpen for San Diego is not a hard throwing pen. There's nobody down there that throws above 95, which is like unheard of these days.
Maybe the hardest one is the closer in Brad Hand. A couple submariners.
One out, and that'll bring up McMahon. Looking for his first hit on the season. He's getting his first start tonight. Last year, he actually had 3. I asked him in the clubhouse, I said, how many starts did you have last year? And he said, I had 2. Well, I guess one of them was not memorable because he actually had 3.
7 games, I think. 7 appearances at first base last year.
Yeah, showed his versatility because not only did he play a little bit of third, but he also played second. That's a strike. Adam Ottavino's warming in the Rockies pen, and Mike Tauchman is going to be the pinch hitter. And that's 0-2.
Both of those, including that second pitch right on the corner of the Subaru strike zone.
Senzatella is also getting loose. He was throwing last inning.
I think it depends on what happens right now. If they don't score any, then I think it'll be Antonio. If they get it back to within 1 or tied up, even go ahead, it's Otto.
One, two, they come inside. Tyson Ross ends up going 6 innings. On the plus side, 3 runs, 5 hits. He walked 3, struck out 2.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes baseball a wacky game. But he hung around, made a couple pitches. You got help with 2 throws, 1 at third, 1 at home. Throw out 2 base runners. But if you were just to watch this start and grade it out, you'd say Kyle had much better stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree. Two and 2 on McMahon. And this is on the ground to Hosmer. He'll take it himself, 2 outs.
All fans this Saturday will receive a 2018 Rockies magnet schedule courtesy of Colorado Lottery.
Two outs, nobody on for Mike Tauchman.
This is Mike's 4th pinch hit appearance this year. For his previous 3. The advantage that all the hitters have down here in San Diego, like they do at Coors Field, some of the other ones, there's a tunnel that's not very far from the dugout, so you can stay loose during the game.
Stammen makes the play, and the Rockies have seen 11 straight retired after scoring a run in the fourth. They trail 5-3.
All-time Rocky great, who other than Jorvit Torrealba, Rockies catcher from 2006 and 2009. Also came back and signed back with the Rockies in 2013. 373 games, 256 average, 168 RBIs. But boy, was this guy clutch. Part of 2 playoff teams in 2007 and 2009. An obvious choice for many of us with Jorvit Torrealba. He in fact played with the San Diego Padres, played for Bud Black, and Bud Black always mentioned about what type of guy Jorvit was. He was the type of player that you wanted hitting with the game on the line. So there you go, number 25, Jorvit.
And you know what, again, this is a compilation of 17 different folks who are members of the media or, like us, broadcasters, who have followed the club for most of their 25 years. And I had Jorvit, I looked at my list earlier, I had him 21st on my list. He is one of the all-time leaders, and this is not a knock on Chris Iannetta, but down the stretch in 07 and in 09, Chris was originally the starter, but Jorvit kind of took over with that fire and his ability to get the clutch hit. And that's why, for me, I have him as one of the top 25 players, because he was such an instrumental part of 2 playoff teams and a World Series team.
Yeah, I had him just a little bit higher. I had him somewhere in the range of 19, 18, something like that. So, I mean, it just shows you the importance that I put on some of the guys, just his leadership ability and what it meant to the organization for a few years.
Senzatella gets a pop-up from Margot and foul ground. McMahon will come over and make the catch. Well, some of the highlights from Jorvit. I mean, he played with a passion and a fire that was infectious. And again, he had the ability seemingly to always come through late in the ball game and produce a big hit. Did it in the postseason. And remember, he got into it with Matt Kemp one year at home plate. Great teammate and a heck of a player. And I give Dan O'Dowd a ton of credit, because Dan pursued him for several years. He coveted Torrealba when he was in the Giants organization as a young player. Then he went to Seattle, and Dan's told me this story. Unfortunately, he had a really down year in Seattle, which made getting him, acquiring him, much easier. And of course, he did a terrific job in the Rockies uniform.
Remember last year down in Miami? We saw him again, and he was the same way then as he was as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just his big smile, big, gregarious guy.
That's a good breaking ball. Where's that on Pirela? I guess a little bit low. Not according to the Subaru strike zone. 1 and 2. He's a guy that I put him in the same category as Vinny Castilla. No matter what your mood is, folks, if you go and visit with a Vinny or a Jorvit or a Gerardo or a Carlos Gonzalez, you will be in a better place after. I guarantee you.
No doubt about it.
So Senzatella with 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 count on Pirela. Rockies will have the top of the order in the 8th. Still 6 outs to work with offensively. Base hit to right. Second hit of the night for Pirela. He has a 5-game hitting streak going to begin the season. Kirby Yates, right-hander, is going to handle the 8th inning for Andy Green. Hosmer with 1 out, 0 for 2 and a walk.
Good pitch. First pitch for Antonio.
You know, when you got down on the list, putting it together, and I know that we both spent a lot of time on this because it's not as easy an exercise as you think. And so many, you know, candidates who are going to fall into the honorable mention group. But you looked at guys that had additional impact than just raw numbers.
Right. And what he meant to the club. Maybe some leadership qualities.
Yeah. Good pitch. 1 and 2.
But you also wanted, when you did that list, you wanted to do it right. So that's why it takes some time, and there might be some guys that didn't get a vote as high as maybe other people. That's what's fun about these sort of exercises. And that's why next week when we reveal number 24 on Tuesday, we'll have some more discussions about it.
Yeah. Got him. That's a pitch that has vastly improved from a year ago for Antonio Senzatella.
Yeah, that should give him a lot of confidence too, because you throw one of the best ones you've thrown against an all-star like Eric Hosmer. It's exactly where Chris called for that pitch, where you want to put it, and he did. He executed.
Renfroe off the plate, ball 1. It's a dangerous guy. 26 home runs last year for Renfroe.
Yeah, he set a San Diego rookie record with those 26. Now he'll punch out a lot too, 140 strikeouts.
And 445 at bats. A little extra juice on that fastball, late life. 2-1.
Reminds me of Rob Deere. Big guy, can hit the ball out of anywhere, but will strike out, takes a big healthy cut every time.
Yeah, that was Rob Deere.
Well, even some of the finish that he has. That, I mean, just the visualization of Hunter reminds me of Deere.
He hit 231 last year. If Rob Deere hit 231, he thought he won a batting title. Breaking balls fouled off. That one was not nearly as sharp as the one that got Hosmer. Got away with one there.
Yeah, that's not where you want to leave it in the Subaru strike zone with 2 strikes.
Renfroe had a 3-homer game last year here at Petco. 2-2. Runner going, and that is a great catch by LeMahieu to keep that out of center field.
Yeah, good thing DJ's 6'4". This ball's tailing up the line. DJ has to worry about the runner first and then getting around the runner. Ends up on the grass when he makes this catch. So he'll catch 2 feet on the grass and keeping that ball from going to center field, and Ozeda advancing to third.
3-2. Burrell in the low minor league stole 30 bases one year in 37 attempts. Hasn't been a big stolen base guy, but he gets a big one here. Hopefully it's not large, because Senzatella is able to get Hunter Renfroe. Lost him. And that'll bring up Christian Villanueva with 2 on. Villanueva is 2 for 2. 2 home runs. He was hit by a pitch and scored last inning.
San Diego's 7th base runner in the last inning and 2/3.
The Rockies dominated the first third or so of this ball game, but they haven't had a hit since the 4th inning. Haven't had a base runner since the 4th. Villanueva last year in El Paso in AAA before his call-up hit .296 with 20 home runs and 86 driven in. And then he got 32 at bats at the big league level last year and hit .347 with 4 home runs. 2 of those we mentioned earlier came against the Rockies, so now 4 of his 6 big league homers against Colorado. And this one is ripped again. That's a 3-home run night. You kidding me? A 3-run shot, and now it is 8-3. He may play another 15 years and never have a game like this.
Career night for him. I will say this, all 3 of them have been no doubters. Not like they've been wall scrapers. Compact short swing, creates the lift. This one's 10 rows back. Unbelievable.
Freddie Galvis. Crowd wants a curtain call, and they just got one. I was just talking about Hunter Renfroe hitting 3 home runs at Petco last year. So now he and Villanueva, the only 2 players ever to hit 3 home runs in a game at Petco Park. Now the Rockies have a whole lot of work to do. 8-3. painted up a little bit by the bullpen, and he ends up giving up 4 runs. He struck out 6, walked 2. Slider was real sharp at times, and through the middle innings, he was the better pitcher among the 2 starters, he and Tyson Ross. But now the Rockies looking at a 5-run deficit as we go to the top of the 8th inning. What a game for Christian Villanueva. 3 home runs. Mentioned he becomes the second Padre ever to hit 3 in a game here. It's happened 3 times by visitors, and some notable names. Ryan Braun, who was just here with Milwaukee, didn't do it the last few days, but guys hit a lot of home runs. Braun has done it. Andrew McCutchen, who will come here quite frequently now that he's on the West Coast, a former Pirate, and another Giant, Pablo Sandoval.
Guys you would expect maybe to have one of those type of games.
So Kirby Yates is out there. Blackman's 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 3rd.
Late inning guy, Yates. Late inning guy for Kirby. 2 strikeouts in the inning and 2/3. He'll throw fastball that'll be 92 to 95. One of the harder throwers in the bullpen for San Diego. Slider and changeup around 86, 87 for both of those 2 pitches.
Ball and a strike. Two and 1. Last Rocky to reach was Chris Iannetta in the 4th inning with nobody out when he dumped that single into left field. Trevor Story tried to go first to 3rd and was cut down. The Rockies had a double, single, single with their first 3 hitters, but they ended up only getting that single run in the 4th. They have not had a base runner since. Charlie pops out, and that's 12 in a row set down by the combination of Ross, Stammen, and now Yates.
You want to trust your gut, pick the right player, and get 1 step closer to winning $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today.
LeMahieu 2 walks and a ground ball to short.
Time to change those numbers for DJ against Kirby.
Three and out. Three balls and a strike on the Rockies' second baseman. And DJ rolls one to short. That'll bring up Nolan. 2-run double back in the 3rd. He was robbed of extra bases on a diving catch in the 1st inning by Hunter Renfroe with LeMahieu aboard.
We had a few of those early in this game, but since then, nothing.
Ball 1. A little bit more on Christian Villanueva. So he has a 3-home run game in just his 14th big league game. How many times that's happened since 1908? Where a guy's had a 3-home run game among his first 14 career games.
One time.
It's happened 2 other times. And you know both of these guys. Jared Parker with the Giants in 2015.
Okay.
And a former Rocky, Bobby Estalella, back in '97, had a 3 home run game among his first 14. And now Christian Villanueva. Ball and 2 strikes on Nolan.
He also has 5 RBIs too. I mean, one-man wrecking crew.
And they were gone the moment they left the bat. I mean, they've made all kinds of alterations through the years at Petco to bring the fences in on a couple of occasions because this place was so tough to hit it out. But those would have been out when the stadium opened.
Day game, night game, heavy marine layer.
I mean, they looked like they were shot out of a cannon. They were really loud.
So the previous high too for RBIs. I mentioned he has 5. His previous high was 2 in a ball game. Just having one of those nights.
Three and 2. And that's a called strike 3. Arenado went right at Bruce Dreckman. I think he kind of stopped himself to make sure he stayed in the game and didn't make contact. He thought this was low. He's looking up to watch the replay. Pretty close. 8-3 Padres. Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Subaru, love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs, 8-3 San Diego as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies had a 3-1 lead at one point. But the Padres got after middle relief for the Rockies. Oberg gave up a run. Actually gave up 3, but 2 were charged to Kyle Freeland. Sensatella gave up 3 in an inning's worth of work. The 3-run home run to Kristen Villanueva. Mike Dunn's going to handle the bottom of the 8th here. Carlos Asuaje took the first pitch out of the zone.
Mike, in the Arizona series, as you see, 1 inning. And that came on opening day on Thursday.
Well, with the 5-run lead, it's not Brad Hand up. It is Makita up, who was up last night. Kaz Makita. Two and 2. I don't know how he got to that baseball. Dunn's got a really tough play. Man, that was really athletic on Mike's part, and a really good play by Ryan McMahon at first. Get it there any way you can.
I wasn't even sure Mike was going to be able to get to this baseball, but he pops off the mound, and then like a quarterback doing a little shovel pass to a running back on the option, he just throws it towards the bag somewhere somehow, and then Ryan picks it out of the dirt. That was a nifty play.
Do you know what? It almost looked, and we'll have to ask Mike later, almost looked like he intentionally tried to bounce it to him, figuring that was the quickest way he could get it to him.
Just any way to get it in the neighborhood.
That was a great play. Here's Ellis. And A.J. Ellis takes a strike. Cargo made a running, semi-diving catch to take extra bases away from Ellis in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And pressed into duty with the fact that Austin Hedges had some back issues the last 2 days.
AJ did not break into the big leagues till he was like 29 or 30. It was real late.
He was a 16th round pick originally.
It was first big league hit against the Rockies.
He's out of Austin P.
First hit off of Jason Marquis in 2009.
We saw Jason in spring training last year because he pitched for Team Israel in the WBC. And he was in phenomenal shape. Remember that?
Yes.
This is popped up foul ground. I don't think Nolan's going to have a play. He was talking about his new diet and his workout regimen. He looked he looked like he was 24.
That's right. Looked like he could still do it, which he did for Team Israel, WBC.
And one of the great baseball men in the business, Jerry Weinstein. Jerry still
did a phenomenal job with that team.
Yeah, he's still an instructor in the Rockies organization, 3-2. There's not an aspect of the game, catching, infield play, offensive play, all the subtleties of base running, that Jerry is not an expert on.
Well, that's why he's so valuable to the organization, to have him around for that knowledge.
And ball 4.
The pinch hitter, Matt Caesar.
Villanova kid. So in my book, when I used to write Caesar, I literally would write Caesar.
just to make sure you.
Yeah, to pronounce it right. And now, because he's been around for a while, I just write S and then like a bunch of Z's and an R at the end. His name is spelled S-Z-C-Z-U-R.
Be a little difficult on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Double play ball. Story's got it, and that'll end the inning. So we'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies need a big-time rally. They're down 8-3. Toyota postgame show will come your way next from right here in our broadcast booth in San Diego. Rockies will have Cargo, Parra, and Story to face Kazuhisa, Makita. Matt Caesar will stay in the game. Jose Perella comes out. So Caesar's in left field.
Well, Makita, 7 years with the Cebu Lions, 276 games, 110 starts. He was 53-49 with the 2.83. And you're going to see somebody that'll throw 82, 83 miles an hour with the fastball, but you also see an off-speed pitch somewhere between 53 and 58. That's a 5.3 and a 5.8.
I've seen him pitch.
The Ephus pitch. 0-2 on Cargo.
This is a former teammate of mine on that Cebu Lions team, and you're not kidding. You'll see an off-speed pitch that's going to go down into the mid-50s.
I mean, that's below batting practice speed.
His only reluctance, reportedly, to come to the States here late in his career was the fact that he may run into Spilly. 1-2.
Most guys work top to bottom, meaning they want to get a good downhill plane. He throws from shoe tops up to the letters.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's a different look.
I mean, Quisenberry, Kent to Colby.
That'll bring up Parra, who wants tacos. Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet, RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies do score 7 in a game. Parra tonight a double and 3 at bats. The Rockies right now have 5 hits. They all came in the 3rd and 4th inning. 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th.
15 straight have been retired.
Well, tonight the middle relief for the Padres outpitched the middle relief for the Rockies. The slider inside, 1-1. And you can see it, just awkward swings because number one, these guys haven't seen him before. Number two, you just don't see guys who do this anymore.
No, Baseball Savant had hit where he threw the baseball about 1.5 feet above the ground. I mean, that's what they kind of clocked it at. And you can see why. When he drops down, where that arm is in relation to the mound.
You know, think of the guys you mentioned, Dan Quisenberry, Kent DeColve. Well, guess what? Those guys pitched a generation plus ago.
Plus.
Parra draws a walk.
Watch it from the side. See how low he gets. And then the ball's coming out from a window that you never see.
And Baseball Savant says, what, 18 inches off the ground?
Yes.
It's lower than that, don't you think?
I think it is, but that's kind of where they calculated it. But either way, I mean, we're kind of split a few inches. Just not expecting it.
And that's a changeup out of that arm slot. Watch the dirt. Watch where the ball's released.
I mean, it's right, I don't know, 15, 20 inches, somewhere in there. It's below his knee.
Two outs as Margot makes the catch. Bring up Iannetta. Inside on Iannetta. Parra will take second. Chris, an RBI single in the fourth. And this in foul ground is not playable. Parra, with the one-out walk, broke the string of 15 in a row, retired since the Iannetta base hit in the fourth. The way this game was going in the first 4 innings, it looked like the Rockies would keep adding a run or two, and Kyle Freeland was pitching well. They turned around in a hurry. 1-2.
Well, San Diego's one pitch away or one out away from recording their first win of the season. Last time they opened up 0-4 was 1994.
One, two, and this one will be off the glove of Renfroe, and Parra will score on a base hit for Iannetta. Renfroe started the day with a diving catch. He almost made a diving catch to close the day.
Second hit, second RBI tonight for Chris. Both of these have been more towards the label, but put it in play, good things will happen. Renfroe comes diving in, and this goes off of his glove, allowing Gerard to come around and score.
Ryan McNann got the start at first tonight, 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. He takes ball one. Looking for his first knock of the year.
If he gets on, Pat Valleca is on deck.
What you'd really want to see here, obviously, number one is the great comeback and you take the lead. But Brad Hand's had to get up, kind of like what happened with the Rockies last night, where they had to bring Wade Davis into the ballgame to get the final out. You'd love to have Andy Green have to bring in Hand. 3-0 on Makita.
Well, especially if Ryan gets on, he's going to have to start getting loose and starting to heat up pretty quick.
Yeah, a little more serious.
Yeah, it's not just a few tosses, see what happens.
This obviously is a take for McMahon. And that's off the plate. So a 4-pitch walk, second walk issued in the inning. 2 on, and now you're one batter reaching away from getting the tying run to the plate, and that person would be Charlie Blackmon. Pretty good guy to represent the tying run.
Because of that, then they're going out there to talk to Makita for 2 reasons. 1, because he's walked a couple guys, given up a hit, but 2, to allow Brad Hand to get loose, because if Pat gets on,
he's in the game.
Yeah, Hand's in the game to face Charlie.
Just the 3rd at bat this year for Voleka. And now here comes Andy Green. He's not even going to mess around. Yeah. He's going to go to Hand here. So Makita leaves. Rockies with a run in, 2 on, 2 outs in the 9th, 8-4 Padres. Voleka is going to pinch hit against Brad Hand, and if he can reach, Blackmon would come up representing the tying run. It'll be the 3rd game for Brad Hand. He's had one notably rough outing in which he gave up 5 runs.
On 4 hits on an inning. That's one he kicked the other day against Milwaukee. You come into the ball game with a lead, trying to lock it down, and ended up getting the loss. One of those hits was a home run.
Voleka has faced Hand just 1 time. He's 0 for 1. 3rd at bat for Voleka this year. There's a strike.
You got too for Pat that would rather see Brad Hand than Makita.
Yeah.
Just because he's a lefty.
Huey made mention of this earlier, but Black gave a strong indication Voleka would be in the starting lineup tomorrow. May see him at shortstop. One and one.
He was shorter at first base and then moved Desi to the outfield. One of the outfielders a day off, either Cargo or Gerardo, with the day game on Thursday.
Yeah, distinct possibility against Clayton Richard tomorrow, lefty. Probably a better possibility. Your thought on that? Four runs, just 6 hits for the Rockies. 8 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. 3 of those hits home runs by Christian Villanueva. 2 solo home runs and a 3-run homer. One and two. That's the ball game. The Padres have won for the first time in 2018. An unforgettable night for that 26-year-old Christian Villanueva. As he leads the way, the Padres prevail 8-4. The Rockies fall to 2-3. 1-1 in this 4-game set here at Petco Park. Tyson Ross, in his return to San Diego, in his 101st appearance in a Padre uniform, gets the victory. His last win came August 31st, 2015 with the Padres. Kyle Freeland takes the loss, and Brad Hand gets his first save of the year. 8-4 the final. Come on back and join us with the Toyota postgame show right after this.